Good morning, everyone. It's Rafegal. We're gonna do some more with Fire 2. We're gonna start out by teleporting to Township. Because we have Warp now, and we can do that. We're gonna... I think this should work. So we're gonna try fusing Lyn with Fire. Nope, never mind. If I'm remembering right, Lyn only has very specific ones that work, but I would have assumed that was one of them. Let's see if Tapeta can do fire. Nope. We're off to a great start. I know Sten can do fire. I guess we'll try Bosch with fire. It was my intention to do Bosch with water, but if we can do Bosch with fire, we'll do it. There we go. So Bosch is now physically stronger. And then we're gonna do Tapeta with Sesso. Alright, this is gonna increase his... I'm assuming it's gonna be magic defense. Now, those bonuses are very temporary. I mentioned before, they can be undone very easily, unfortunately. It's kind of the downside of... It's a flawed system. They have these cool features where you can do fusions, but if your character dies and has to be resurrected, and several other things, then... And I think some of them even have, like, turn limits. Need to get past that. Get down to the cape. Okay, so that's the part we definitely needed Tapeta for. And then from here, we should be able to get the rest of the way to Whale Cape. And with Lyn in our party, we should be able to actually do some interesting stuff there. we save. Still don't have any customers. I remember you. You're the people who defeated that awful trout man. I can't tell you how grateful I am. I'm afraid I'd never see my wife and kids again. Please enjoy the sights at Whale Cave. You won't be disappointed. Yeah, we're literally going to now climb inside a whale. For some reason. And the only way through is using Lynn to bust the railing. It's raining men and other things. Are you alright? Not what you could call used to people just dropping in on me like this. These little ones give me a ride here. Oh. And Sidon. Oh, Poseidon. Ha. Certainly, my good sirs, you understand where you stand this instant. We are in the mouth of the largest creature in the world, a whale. Such an amazing animal. Legends tell of entire armies carried across the ocean by these great beasts. In their intelligence, they are born with instinctive knowledge of all human language. It's unbelievable. It would be if I could just get him to wake up. I would love to talk to this creature for even a few minutes, but what knowledge of history he would possess. Tried everything, pepper, fire, poking him in all the usual sensitive spots. Nothing rouses him. It's maddening. He's been sleeping ever since he swallowed that big stone dummy. That's right. He gulped it right down. What have you not been telling me? Okay. Rocky the dummy made Grandpa go to sleep. Big stone dummy that shows up in our dreams all the time. All he says is sleep over and over again. So yeah, straight up. I'm sure that this weird stone statue is definitely not actually a demon. So the old man there is going to be at the cave to the west where we found the fisherman earlier. So this is a really funky dungeon. It definitely does a good job of the aesthetic it's going for. It's a lot creepier looking and more organic looking than some of the other dungeons like this, like Jabu Jabu's Belly. Like, it is definitely creepy looking. It's the right shade of pink. The little pulsating like veins here. Jeez. Okay, well there's one down. Ryu will attack. Cat will use pneumonia. Apparently there's a difficulty spike here. Jeez. Like, Topeta has my best armor on right now, and he still got just thrashed. He's also not a great character, so that makes sense, but I digress. Hermit Squid. hate that little eyebrow wiggle so much. Iron Band. Okay, where does that go? Literally weaker than everything everybody here has. So probably gonna go on Nina, I assume. Those guys are funky looking. Hey, one shot. Okay, so these guys probably have 70 or so hit points. That's not bad. And I think the Scissor Hermit has a little bit more, but... yeah, this isn't... actually, I know he has 145, that's how much Bo did with his special. Forgot to use Slice. Slice ignores defense, so that would have been really good. I don't think it's actually going to get back to Bo, because Slice should do 70. Yeah. Very good XP here. I'm glad that we kept this party, because while it is a little slow due to the lack of power that Tapeta brings, mostly. It's good to get the levels while we can, and this should be a good opportunity for them to catch up a little bit. I did not write down many directions for this area, and I probably should have pulled a map up. So these are the guys who kicked their butts last time. Let's do a defend. Good. Gonna buff himself first, which should be okay. Cat goes before him, so I think we'll be able to... if Bo doesn't finish him off, Cat should be able to. This will start on the right and then move our way across. That's nasty. Jeez. So we're all still alive somehow. And can I finish that guy off? I think we're just gonna auto it and pray. So I was pretty upfront about the fact that I didn't really care for Tapeta as a character, and how he's very run-of-the-mill, kind of the jack-of-all-trades, master of none. And I hope you can start seeing right away why I feel that way. he doesn't have any magic that really adds anything so far. These other characters are doing more damage pretty much across the board and have useful skills on top of that. All these characters hit so freaking hard. Like, part of me wants to dip out and get, like, Rand or Nina in. I'm assuming those guys have actual magic at some point that they have a chance of doing. So yeah, I suspect Tepeda has uses. I'm sure there are places in the game where he is good, but right now, like, I'm pretty sure I can take his sword and armor and everything and put it on Ryu. See how well that smoke worked. 100% sure why they're attacking the guy in the back row first. Okay, I'm getting really sick of Tepeda hitting for 2 with everything. Like, yeah, he's so much weaker than everybody else in pretty much every way. Like, he's got a little more defense than Lin and Butch. He technically has more wisdom than Lin, but not much. His vigor is terrible. Yeah. We're getting our butts kicked here, and I feel like if we didn't have him, we would be in better shape. So we're gonna duck out, because he's literally doing like 2 damage to half the enemies here. And then he does that. You know what? Fine. Might open if you hit it. Not that there's anything behind it. Fire ring. That's a weapon for Nina. I bet. So Bosch is already catching up in levels and has great healing magic. Beta is falling behind in just about every way. Ryu's gonna die here. Nice! Clean sweep from the productive party members. I'm just gonna keep hating on Tepeda until we get him out of here. Like I said, he is at best a mediocre character with a couple specific uses, I'm sure, down the road. And Warp is going to be very useful. That being said. Okay. So we're gonna go... Actually, let's... I wish I could unequip. You can't actually unequip here. Because I think the breath armor he has is better than a lot of other things. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, kid. Is there a place to rest here? Okay, I guess. We don't have a spot to heal here. So I guess we'll see how this goes. Okay, we want Lin in front. We're gonna have Ryu use smoke. Not that it actually helps that much, but it should help a little. And I'm going to assume Flare works well here. Although, actually, let's just see how much she does with a physical first. Yeah, she's actually keeping up with damage. Because I'm assuming because fire. Straight ahead here. So now we're caught all the way back up to where we were because we were exploring all the side passages first. Bosch is getting his butt kicked a little bit, so I think we're going to do a quick formation shift here. And toss him a vitamin. This looks like a passage with a lot of offshoots, so I think we're actually gonna let's do a little experiment here. I want to see how much her magic does. She has plenty of AP, so should be fine in that regard. Missed. One shot. That was my guess. It doesn't do that much more than her regular attacks right now because of the fire element, I'm assuming. But still good. And ignores defense, or physical defense at least, which is nice. So I'm assuming that other passage that we went into, or that we skipped back here, has treasure. I should also be using another smoke here soon. Since we had initiative, I just figured I'd go ahead and, yeah, that's actually one of the things I was wondering about. If Nina needs to be attacking the Hermit Squid specifically. Heck. Okay. I'm guessing that some of these rooms are places that you can fall from above or something like that, just judging by the way they're laid out. So we had initiative this time. We should just be able to stomp these guys with this pattern. Would have if Flo got lucky. Should have had Ryu direct attack the Hermit Squid. I'm hoping he doesn't attack the shotgun head now. And definitely should have had Nina direct attack the Hermit Squid. That should do it. Okay. So this dungeon seems to have a ton of pointless dead ends, which I am not a huge fan of. I don't mind an occasional dead end. You know, I mean, exploring dungeons is fun. That's fine. My problem comes when there's no point to it. Now let's do a jolt. I'm curious to see how the damage shifts there. That was a slight misclick, but hopefully we'll be able to already have the shotgun head dead. Never mind. He's got Protect on, so he's probably gonna take longer to kill. And now Nina's gonna do nothing. And he just healed himself. Oh my god. These enemies are just annoying. One. That should do it. Like, part of me just wants to just go down the most direct route, because it seems like that's the way to get to the end. And this dungeon just seems annoying, but at the same time we also got some actual equipment, like right off the bat here. So I think this is very heavy armor, if I'm seeing this correctly. I guess we can experiment. Yep. So Ryu normally goes second, but because of heavy armor, he's going last. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm assuming that that armor is also equipable on Rand, and that if we equip it on Rand, it will not actually make a difference because his vigor will hit like just 1 or 0 and stop. Should have smoked while we were up in the menu. Okay, let's go down this way first quick. Another dead end. This is gonna suck. I didn't switch the armor off. Did I? Well, hopefully they all attack Ryu then. Let's take advantage of that armor. Oh, I did. Not sure what's up then. Oh well. I'm guessing that we're gonna be there soon. Yeah, there we go. And unfortunately, I ran right into that without... Yep, can't get into the menu quick. Okay, that's kind of cool. I kind of hope you can see that on the final version of this. Sometimes flickering stuff doesn't translate well. I guess let's try Flare first. I am not looking forward to this boss because he puts people to sleep. Okay. So I think what we're gonna do... Ryu's gonna use Slice. We're gonna try this again. Flash is gonna use a Wisdom Seed. Lyn is gonna use a Vitamin. Getting his health back up is most important. No. I was finally getting set back up. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just use Wisdom Seed now. So that when Ryu wakes up, he's ready. Also, just take a moment and think how awful this fight would be if we didn't have the stacks of vitamins and ammonia that we have. Like, we're probably gonna burn through a good chunk of these. No, we also have a bunch of money right now. We could have probably afforded the amount we have. Unfortunately, Lynn has to be our healer. Because of how the turn order works, because otherwise people are just going to get one shot. Or two shot, I guess. If we don't heal people, they're just going to die. Basically. Okay, I am going to just not care here. Take the extra hit and Flame Dragon because we need the damage. Well, the good news is nobody else is falling asleep. The bad news is, God, I hate the sleep stat. Sleep status in this game is just absolutely horrible. And he keeps targeting people, or double targeting people, so we just are pretty much screwed. I'm trying to remember when the last time I saved, or if I saved when we came back through or not. Actually, she's not down that much. I think I've got... Oh, that's right, I've got these roasts and stuff, too. Let's have her eat this beef. Perfect. I should also sort those at some point. I'm assuming we're going to get put to sleep this round, but just in case. Yeah, he is definitely targeting the people who are lowest on health, which is really kind of sinister for a RPG like this. Wow. Okay, her magic is doing almost nothing. Flame Dragon. Anything else down here? I know we have like a healing herb. Let's use that first. And oh, I'm gonna try this. Let's try some status magic out. I haven't really used it much. If Blunt actually reduces his attack substantially, this could make a huge difference though. Not that it matters when everybody gets put to sleep. So nobody is hurt right now, so I'm just going to have Cat attack. Just on the off chance that it's actually enough. So Bosch is going to attack. Lynn is going to Vitamin. Ryu is going to Flame Dragon. Bosch is going to attack. Do we have any other... Yeah. Nope, back just to vitamin. Just to be safe. We could probably... Ryu actually I think could actually take another hit, but I think we're okay for now. Plus Flame Dragon. Ryu's dragon attacks basically break the game to an extent. That was really rough. I think I'll just sleep forever. The Dream Fiend was defeated, Grandpa's still sleeping, and the little goblin is still dancing. So we're gonna go with this and see if it works. Perfect. So I think this is gonna take us back to the beach. Almost. So, that boss was ridiculous. I'm wondering if there's a way to avoid sleep that we're missing, or like an elemental weakness that we were missing. But at the end of the day, I really get the feeling that the big problem was just that it is a hard fight. I mean, we did a lot of grinding. We have the best equipment. We farmed out a bunch of healing items. Like, we were in better shape than a lot of people in that would be. And break these poor people's houses. And get a whale. Jehoshaphat, that was the darndest dream. What in tarnation happened to this place? I must have been asleep for a long time for things to change this much. You're fine fellas that woke me up, ain't you? You can call me Grandpa, everyone else does. Hop on board, I can take you fellas anywhere you want to go. It's the least I can do. Lydia's really nice this time of year. That's for sure. I hear the circus has come to town. Just jingle a whale bell when you're on a beach. The old guy by here has one. I'm sure he'll let you know. So yeah, we're gonna grab the whale bell. You want this whale bell? By all means, just ring it whenever you're standing on a beach. Okay. Apparently it's not on the menu, you just have to push the button. And I don't think that there are random encounters here. Let's see if I'm wrong. We're gonna take a look at our map for the first time. You can see kind of where we've been so far and see how little of the map we've actually explored. So this is where we're supposed to go tunneling. So we're gonna pop up here real quick. But we're not actually gonna progress the story yet. I really don't want to deal with monsters right now, but I think we're just gonna get our butts kicked a bunch. I'm kind of excited to see how much XP this guy drops. I literally just want to hop on, or to get to Melodia to get it on our warp map. There we go. And I want to double check if we can actually get to the shop. We can. So you can see here, we've got access to all kinds of goodies. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the twin bow first because I'm pretty sure that one's not gonna get replaced anytime soon. I think Papillon is also usable by Sten. And we actually don't want that for Ryu. Stoke is going to be for Jean. Red Scarf is a helmet. Not actually worth it for most of the characters, but we can finally get this one upgraded. Honestly, most of those aren't super worth it. This one's a 7 boost, these ones are only 5. I don't know why I'm being quite so stingy right now, but I also know that there's certain areas that we're going to be able to come back to in a little bit here. So, for now, I think we're actually going to wrap up. I'm gonna... Oh, crap. We don't have... Is there a dragon? See if there's a dragon statue in here. If there is not a dragon statue, we need to sail out of here, which I am not ready to do yet, or which I would be okay with doing, but obviously I can't save until we get out. I was going to warp out, but we don't have Topedo with us. He has one job, and he's not even here to do it. Open. I'm guessing that there is not going to be anything useful here. By not anything useful, I mean not any dragon statue that we're looking for currently. I guess we pop over to the other ones and just keep going until I find keep going until we find a dragon statue. Let's see if this is actually available. It is. Okay, so we're not actually supposed to be here yet. So this is where we're going to kind of break things a little bit more. So this place is always available. At this point in the game. It's not like we're breaking it from that perspective. The part of the game that we are breaking is the ability to get these items without having to work for it. So, we're gonna start, let's see. We're gonna grind some money. So I'm gonna save and change party here. And we're gonna put Japeta back in. And I think we're gonna do like Bosch and Rand. And then we're gonna save. So what I'm gonna do is farm a bit more extra cash. And we are going to farm up for some of the armor and weapons here in now. They're expensive. You're obviously not supposed to come here at this point in the game, but you can. And when I have played this game previously, I have totally ground out enough money to get at least one of the pieces of equipment, if not more. We're not going to fully equip our entire party here, but there's some really good stuff here, and being able to get several characters with at least like some of these cheaper pieces of equipment, and definitely getting Ryu this sword goes a really, really long way. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm basically just gonna do another round of cooking off screen, and when I come back we will do some more exploring with our whale, visit a bunch of towns, and do a little shopping. Hopefully you're still enjoying. If you are, please give me a like and subscribe. Check out the other content on my channel. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. And as always, have a good one. We'll see you next time.